Tesseract.
It's me, your co-hosts, Phantom Revan, aka Revan, and QuasarNova, also known as just Quasar.
Hi guys.
So,
all right. So for, do you want to give us a recap on what happened in the last stream?
Sure. So last time, Leila's a vampire now. Sophie's taken her under her wing, and because Leila's a young vampire, Sophie's recommendation is that as a young vampire, she needs to form a coterie, and that's where the name of the game comes from, Coteries of New York. And a coterie is a term for a group of vampires that are allies that work together for a common cause. They're not necessarily friends, just allies. And she gives her 4 contacts. A Tremere vampire named Agathon. He is a scholar, and he does research on blood magic. A Nosferatu vampire named D'Angelo. He's a detective. He's investigating some human murders. A Gangrel vampire named Tamika. Tamika lives in the park currently with other gangrels, and her sire kind of just left. And the last one is the Malkavian vampire named Hope, who is kind of a punk Instagram influencer girl who runs a PC internet cafe. Now, normally I've already played this game before, I let Quasar make the decisions here, but I really urged Quasar to meet Hope first, because Hope is my favorite character, and I think Hope would be the most interesting. And Quasar was a little, out of it first, but we met up Hope. Hope was very weird, and after a weird encounter,
extremely,
which involved moderating a cam show that's not really a cam show, Hope kind of got her approval, and now she is an ally. She's a member of our coterie. And then we went to rest.
We now have
one ally.
We now have the power of Hope.
Yep. All right, so let's take it away.
Yeah, so now that we know sort of the recap of what happened so far, I also want to just quickly give a quick shout out that we do have a YouTube channel now where we are uploading our VODs. So you can watch it at any time. If you missed a part, you can go back and see it. And on top of all of that, today is very special because we have 2 guest stars. So we have a returning one, which is Rubric, and we have DreamyBumblebee. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
I mean, you just said who we are. Hello, I'm Rubric.
Hi, I'm DreamyBumblebee. Really excited to be here today.
Yep.
Awesome.
And they will be voicing. You'll see which characters they'll be voicing. We'll leave that a little bit of.
Yeah, let's leave that. Exactly.
So
all right. So without further ado.
So since we already did an action, that action took a while, so we can't. These are the 3 other actions. So these are your quests. We can't do any others because we need to rest because it's almost sunrise. So we're gonna rest.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the best idea, and then after that we can decide what we should do for the next day.
Yep. All right. Now
unless there's an
we'll let's do our usual. We'll take turns narrating because now we have more voice actors. You don't have to switch between 2 different voices for women. So okay. I'll take
last stream we had 4 different voices. We had Panhard, we had Sophie, we had Hope, and we had Leila.
Yep. Okay.
It was insane.
You notice something strange by the front door of your haven. A letter's been slipped under the door in a cream-colored, old-fashioned envelope. There's no name on it, but you know it's meant for you. Opening the letter, it's clear it's been sent by someone incredibly old-fashioned, rich, or a fan of classic stationery. No normal person sends letters like these.
I wonder if it's also a coffee stain on the edges.
With one of those you put it under the light and it reveals a mystery map, like a treasure chest.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
The note is short and terse, written in elegant, delicate handwriting. You are cordially invited to a rendezvous at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. I'll be waiting to make your acquaintance tomorrow night. Look for me, closer to God.
Wait, didn't you say before, that any holy symbol or stuff like that could make them
Not
feel
qu-
uncomfortable?
No. So it's interesting because I had my vampire session yesterday, and I asked my DM a few questions, which you guys might have had yet, and during the last session.
Mhm.
So, holy symbols do not repel a vampire in this universe. What repels the vampires in this universe is something called true faith. So, any religious person or non-religious person, anyone with true conviction, a truly good person with true conviction, a
Ah,
pure innocent soul,
I see.
can repel a vampire. Whether that person is in the Vampire Masquerade core rulebook, 5th edition, it says it could be a Christian holding a cross, a Muslim holding a Quran, a Hindu holding a symbol. It could be a Wiccan, anyone who has true belief, conviction, like innocence. They will repel the vampire.
Mhm.
Like if the vampire goes near that person, they will feel like this flame, this burning sensation, and such. And if
Like
they
a
remain
radiant
too,
heat.
yes, and if they touch that person, they could end up burning up slowly.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and the other thing, you asked me last time about. So I looked into the core rulebook some more. The following things are fatal to a vampire: sunlight, flames, stakes, and this. I asked my DM, do the stakes need to be made out of wood? And he said it depends on the version. Some people say in older editions of Vampire Masquerade, the stake does have to be made out of wood because in Vampire Legend, vampires descend from Cain and Abel, the biblical story, and Cain was an
Yeah.
agriculturist, so it's kind of an irony that dead wood is his children's weakness. But in my
Oh.
yeah, in the vampire game that I'm playing with my dungeon master, he said that he doesn't necessarily make it wood because in a campaign, my character was stabbed with a claymore sword, which is made of steel,
Mhm.
not wood. So it really depends on the campaign and what the
That's
dungeon
kind of
master.
stake-like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically
It's more of
any
like
sharp
bludgeoning damage
object.
rather than
Yeah.
piercing damage. Yeah.
Now, I looked in the core rulebook. The core rulebook seems to imply it should be wood, because it says that you could stake a vampire technically by firing wooden bolts from a crossbow, for example. So, just some fun trivia, interesting if you guys wondered how staking works and all that.
Oh, I actually made a mistake. It's actually piercing damage, not bludgeoning or slashing damage.
Yeah.
If we're going to go by D&D terms. All right,
Sure.
let's go.
There is no other information. It looks like you have a mysterious invitation for the following night. Okay, the sun rose, the sun set. Okay, now, these are the choices you can make. Generally, each night, you can only make one or two. And you cannot make all of them in a single playthrough. So you have to choose carefully. So this one, we've already read through this one last time. This is meeting Agathon, the Tremere. This one is a new one. This one's called Faith and Myth, Part 1. This implies that this is a multi-part quest. You've received an invitation to meet a mysterious someone at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. We already met up with Hope, but we can continue her quest line. Hope is about to head out into the city, accompany her, and see her true face. This is D'Angelo, the detective. We already read this. And this is Tamika, the gangrel. So, I'll leave it.
So you said that last time that you can only have, I think, up to 2 people you can actually fully complete, right?
One or two.
For
One
their
or
quest
two.
line? One or
Here's
two.
the thing, you might not even get a chance to fully complete their quest lines. There's something in the ending, these 1 or 2 people will come in handy, and I'll leave it at that. But you won't be able to get through. You will not be able to complete all of them. So you have to choose
all 4.
carefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Darn it.
And these
By
you'll
Pokemon
have a
rules,
lot
I can't
of
catch them all.
yeah. And sometimes you'll have side quests like this one. This is not a member of your coterie. And you'll get a lot of quests like these. Like Sophie might say, do this for me. Something might pop up. And if you do those, you might not get a chance to talk to your potential coterie members. But on the other hand, if you just talk to the coterie members, you might not be able to help do other things. So there's a bit of be careful which choice you make. Make it count as if it's your last. So meet with Agathon, Blood Sorcerer, talk to the mysterious person at the church, meet up with Hope again, help D'Angelo investigate murders, or talk to Tamika, the gangrel, at the park.
And you did say that you can do, I think, 2 actions per night?
1 to 2. It depends on how long that action is. That quest line is. It
Oof.
depends.
Okay. Well, I think, I know I want to meet, like, that guy, and I think that's a timed thing, right? Like it's not like he'll appear the next night.
No, it'll appear. If you don't do that quest, it'll continue to appear until the end.
Okay, awesome. Because I was wondering if it's like, oh, it just happens for this specific night. And
No. It's
Thank
not.
goodness.
It's a video game, right? So they're not gonna like make things too inconvenient and realistic. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Then in that case, I will like to meet the Nosferatu instead, because that guy he has connections to Kadir, and I want Kadir on my side, 100%.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. All right, you can narrate this one.
Sure. As you make your way down Clinton Street, the insistent hum of traffic gives way to the ominous silence of the waterfront. You stop to take in the familiar bouquet of the Hudson, made all more potent by your recently sharpened senses. Oh no, I've heard rumors of the Hudson being like very stinky, the river. So like I don't know.
In a lot of TV shows and films, like Mafia in New York, they do like dump bodies in the Hudson, so I could see that.
Yeah.
I haven't visited New York myself, but I could kind of imagine that.
Across the basin, the Red Hook Green Terminal rears its rusty frame. Once a bustling industrial area, now a sleeping giant splayed out on the riverbank, forgotten, abandoned. Conveniently so, especially for one of the hidden.
Nosferatu, another nickname for them is the Clan of the Hidden. Just like Toreador, they have Clan of the Rose.
Mm-hmm. Keeping to the shadows, you sneak closer to the
Dilapidated.
Oh my god, I cannot say that word.
Dilapidated. I got you.
Dilapidated. That's such a... Oh my god. What does that even mean? Like,
it's like
run
broken down, broken down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I can see in the picture, like in the scene here, it's like a messed up, broken down place. Yep.
Okay. Keeping to the shadows, you sneak closer to the dilapidated complex, making your way past the hole-ridden silos and wobbly chain-link fences. By the time you reach the entrance to the main building, you can almost feel the rust particles make themselves cozy at the back of your throat. Oh, that's so sad. That's like a thick layer of dust.
Mm-hmm.
Not getting your hopes up, you give the door a slight nudge. To your surprise, it gives almost instantly. Looks like someone's been using it recently. Once inside, you find yourself in a large, empty hall. Looking around, you can almost picture it back in its heyday, stacked to the rafters with heavy machinery.
Yeah, because this is a broken down this used to be a factory. Now it's no longer used as a factory, and
it's just like a waste dump thing that, like, you know, people that are homeless or people that are up to no good usually go to.
Exactly. Drug deals probably happen here. Some teenagers sneak off to make out, you know.
I don't know if this is the best place to make out, but you do you.
You clearly haven't read a lot of young adult novels in which teenagers
go
to dangerous locations.
But there are better locations, just say.
You gotta make do with what you
stairs. You notice a set of stairs leading up to the mezzanine, most likely an office space. And then you see it. A faint light coming from one of the upper rooms. Looks like you're in luck. Quietly, with bated breath, you climb the steps and approach the dimly lit room. The door creaks open, revealing what looks like an old-timely detective's office, complete with crooked window blindfolds and an overflowing ashtray, the paper scattered across a wooden desk. Suddenly it hits you, a nagging feeling. This is all too convenient, too inviting. Before you can react, the trap is already sprung. Damn it! Everything everything has like some kind of a cost to it, or a test to it. A plum of cigar smoke wafts over your shoulder. The barrel of a gun rubs against your spine. A raspy voice whispers in your ear.
Let me guess. Took a wrong turn at the third silo.
Attempt to have the sound down, rusty assailant.
Or you can use your power, presence. So what presence
Yeah, I'm
does,
gonna do
the
presence.
presence ability, it makes you seem either more persuasive, charming, or more intimidating. So you're gonna use your powers?
Yep.
Okay.
Driven by a strange hunch, you open your mouth. You hear yourself talking, but the words are not yours. They seem to be coming from the deepest recesses of your memory. A movie you saw as a child. You don't know why, but it seems oddly appropriate. I know what you're thinking. This punk ain't got nothing on me. I'm sitting pretty on a loaded cult detective special. 5 in the cylinder, 1 in the chamber, and I only need the 1. As corny as it all sounds, the stranger seems oddly receptive to your tough guy monologue, so you decide to bump it up to a notch. Focusing on your will, you boost your aura, filling the room with your presence. Your voice becomes smooth, oozing with charisma. A regular Sam Spade. If you yourself can't help but feel a sense of awe. Hopefully the stranger feels it too.
Is that right?
Yeah, so how about we drop the tough guy act and talk like adults? You can always shoot me once we're done. For a few tense seconds, the room goes quiet. So quiet, in fact, you could swear you actually hear the smoke swirling in the air. Finally, the stranger speaks again.
Got a point there, kid.
In a strange interplay of light and shadow, the stranger reappears behind his desk. Seeing him in his full, for lack of a better word, glory, you can't help but smirk. This is the dreaded Nosferatu? The way Sophie described them, you were expecting some grotesque monstrosity. But this guy? The clothes, the swagger, the hard-boiled detective routine, it all comes across as a bad joke. Still, when it comes to appearance, his lineage is undeniable.
Lineage here just means, like, the vampire's lineage. Their clan, what line they're from. So it's basically saying, it's obvious this guy is, like, has deformities. Because the Nosferatu clan, their curse, their bane, is that once they become a vampire, they have severe facial deformities, what looks like burn marks. Sometimes it looks like the guy's face is stretched, like, halfway across. Stuff like that.
Yeah, like you said that if they actually came out into the light, like into the normal world, that'd be a huge, massive, like Masquerade violation, right? Because of how
it depends on how
monstrous
severe. Yeah, it depends on how severe their deformities are. That's why a lot of Nosferatu, they have an ability called Mask of 1,000 Faces, which makes their face look, to a normal human, it looks like, oh, it's just a typical average Joe, nothing interesting. Or they stick to the shadows, they don't come out openly. Or a lot of them use prosthetics and makeup, or they use trench coats and, like, masks. They do all sorts of things. But if they didn't do any of that, yes, they could potentially be a walking Masquerade violation.
From 30 feet away, you could probably pass for a bum with a nasty skin condition. From 5 feet away, he looks like something made to be seen from 30 feet away.
Yep. There you go.
He leans back in his chair, casually pointing his gun at you.
So, what brings you to my humble office?
Are you D'Angelo? You the one they call D'Angelo?
That's my name, kid. Don't wear it out. My friends call me Jin, so you best stick to D'Angelo for the time being. Now, I suggest you tell me what this is about. Otherwise, I kindly ask you to get the fuck out of my office.
I can see why Couture keeps you. Charming. I can see why Couture keeps you around. Oh, that's me. I keep thinking that you're the narrator.
Not this time.
His expression sours.
Not a name you want to casually toss around, kid. But hey, I get it. You're not some random schmuck who wandered in here off the street. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Who I work for is less important. What I'm working on, however.
I know I'm here to help. The Red Hook murders. I know. I want to help you catch the killer.
Oh, hey, Con. Thanks for joining us. I hope you like this character. You're gonna like this character, Con. He is a Nosferatu detective.
His moldy lips twist into a smile.
You know what, Con? I can't help you then. He's a detective, he's a badass, he has a gun, but just because he's a Nosferatu? Yeah, you're just racist against Nosferatus.
The person called the Great Khan, the user, he just said no with a period, just emphasizing how much he will not like this character.
Do you, now?
D'Angelo lowers his shades. For a few seconds, he sits motionless with his eyes fixed on yours. Suddenly, he raises his gun, almost making you flinch. Almost. Then he twirls it into his shoulder holster in a flashy display that definitely looks like it was practiced. A lot. In front of a mirror. Wow! He's just trying to be so, intimidating.
I don't know about intimidating. I think he's just trying to be, kind of slick and cool, not intimidating.
Yeah, he's trying. He's trying his best. Aw. You see the Nosferatu's lips move, but the quiet mumbling clearly isn't meant for your ears. Listening in, you're able to catch snippets of his monologue.
Sure, they seem to care. What was the endgame? What was their angle? Everybody's got one, even if they pretend like they don't. Especially then. What the hell? Maybe this town finally got to me.
He pauses, sticks a fresh cigar between his crooked teeth.
Maybe a good leap of faith is just what the doctor ordered. Give me 1 second. I'll be back. Give me a couple of seconds.
Sure. I was just gonna say that, you see the little space between his teeth? It feels like the perfect spot to put, a cigar in. It's like a little hole just made for, a cigarette. So far, though, Ruby and Soha, what do you guys think of the story so far? As you've seen us play it, and as you've heard, the recap and so on. Also, I meant DreamyBumblebee. Whoops.
When I was watching the one from the other day that I missed, the thing that was cool to me was that you're getting to make bigger choices now, not just what you're gonna say, but when it gave you the option of who to go talk to first and everything, I was like, oh, sick, we're getting interesting now.
Yeah, actual plot lines and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I really like your the main character. She's cool.
The main character is really, really interesting to me. 1 second. If you guys can discuss between yourselves about this for a few minutes, that'd be great. And what you kind of see looking forward into the story.
Okay.
So, Rubric, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think the story is leading us to now?
Man, I honestly don't know for sure, because it still feels just exploring the world that they've built, the world building of the game. But I'm sure, pretty soon probably there's gonna be some kind of overarching conspiracy or plot or something that's gonna have to be dealt with. Right now it still feels
definitely.
like he's getting established in the world that they built.
Is there any character that's your favorite so far that you've met?
Okay, I do really like Sophie. She's okay, to be honest, I like her and I like her chauffeur. She has a driver. I don't know if you got to watch the first one or anything. His name is Gregory, and he's like a human, but he's like a really badass Jeeves to me. He's kind of a right-hand man type vibe, but he's a human. But he's like knows everything, and he's really fast, and he staked some guy who attacked the main character in a park, and like just threw him in the trunk. And I was like, all right, Gregory, nice, go for it.
All right, sorry about that.
Yeah, Gregory scares me. Like, we're both back at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Gregory totally scares me. Like, okay, he's basically someone who is able to, like, catch a vampire without even,
being
like,
a vampire.
without being
not,
a vampire.
He's not even a vampire, so, the game kind of reveals this later. It's not that big of a spoiler. He's basically like, he's a ghoul. A ghoul is basically when a vampire feeds their blood to another human, and that human is kind of like becomes like a bonded to them and kind of serves them in a way. And they also, in return, the human gets like an increased healing regeneration factor, and they get some, strength and stuff as well. So, yeah, that's Gregory. So if you ever notice a vampire is really close to a human, and the human like knows about the existence of vampires and stuff like that, then that means that vampire is most likely a ghoul. All right, let's.
Another thing.
Go ahead.
Wait, another cool thing. I think that we actually forgot to mention this before in our previous recap was that there was someone that because Sophie took us to a park, right? And she let us like kind of feed as we would, and we ended up interacting with this guy who ended up being someone from the Anarchs, right? Like the opposite to Camarilla, like the other group that are omitted from the Camarilla. And what that meant was that this guy basically he was threatening us, and so that's when Gregory stepped in and knocked the fudge out of this guy and like staked him like
he
at point blank.
Basically staked him and dumped him in the trunk. Also,
exactly. And then
Wolf 7, there are no lycans in this universe. They're called vampires or werewolves. They're not lycans.
Yes.
There's no lycans in this universe.
And no apparently, from what I've heard, there's no lycanthropy. They don't change or anything. It's more so of their own. Like you're born as a lycan. You're born as a werewolf.
They're a separate race entirely. They can transform and take a human appearance to blend in, but they're not. You don't turn a human into another werewolf.
They actually find it offensive if you try to talk about lycanthropy. So watch yourself.
All right.
So what I was gonna say was basically, so that's when he captured that guy, the Anarch guy. We brought him back, and then Kadir beat him up and everything, and we got some answers. And that's why the gang girls are actually one of the people that we could have gone to talk to, because the gang girls are somewhat associated to the Anarchs, right? I think that's was
the gang girls and the Bruja, two clans. They used to be part of the Camarilla, and then what ended up happening is they left the Camarilla because the Anarchs, they're another faction. They kind of oppose the Camarilla because their ideology is different. They feel the Camarilla is way too strict, way too many rules. A lot of them are the rulers, the elders are all like centuries-old vampires who are kind of out of touch, out of date, and they form their own group, and they, for the most part, agree with maintaining the Masquerade, but they have different rules about it. Bruja and Gangrel were two clans who were once associated with the Camarilla. They have now left, and they're no longer associated with the Cam organization. They're either independent or they are allied with the Anarchs.
Yeah. So you can go ahead with continuing with the rest of it. As in, read the line.
Oh, I already read that before I left. But
okay, I didn't. Do you want to just?
I can read it again. Yeah.
If you could, yeah, just so we can continue off from like the proper point.
No, I got you. Maybe a good leap of faith is just what the doctor ordered.
Are you narrating? Oh my god! Offer him a light.
He's about to smoke a cigar. He's
exactly.
About to smoke a
play
cigar.
along.
So you want to offer
play
him a light?
along with this? Yes, man. Like, I will be that damsel in distress that comes into his office with like red lipstick, and like curly hair. Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna really care about that, D'Angelo, but you could try.
Oh well. As he reaches into his pocket, you flash a lighter before his eyes. You flash a lit lighter before his eyes. Or maybe you could use a healthy dose of unhealthy.
Which is funny because vampires are dead, so they can't get lung cancer or anything. So smoking's like they can smoke all they want.
Yeah. For a split second, he gives you a puzzled look. Then he leans over to your lighter, puffing on a cig as it catches fire. A weary smile comes back to his lips. Okay, good. I'm on his good side. Kind of. Sort of.
I like you, kid. You might look like a used car salesman, but there's just something about you. Tell you what.
Yo, he's totally doing it.
I was just about to head back to the crime scene. Take a look around, refresh my notes. You can tag along if you want to. I could use an assistant. Someone to take notes and make wild assumptions for me to shoot down. Who knows? If you're any good, I might consider making this a long-term arrangement.
You won't regret it. Oh no! What are we waiting for? Yeah, what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for?
Just one more thing. You still got me at a disadvantage here. Seems like you've done some digging on me, but with you, I've barely scratched the surface. Catch my drift? So answer me this. Who is it that sent you into my neck of the woods? Or in layman's terms, who do you work for?
Sophie Langley. Sophie Langley. You know what? From now on, if the speech and the decision is the exact same thing, I'm just not gonna.
You don't have to reread it, yeah.
Because
yeah, I get you.
For the first time since you got here, the Nosferatu adopts a genuine look of surprise. His eyes wander for a moment, finally giving way to a crooked smile.
So you're the one, huh? The fledgling the Toreador dame spared? Yeah, that would make sense. Don't think she'd appreciate you throwing her name around. Thanks for being upfront, kid.
One blink is enough for you to miss D'Angelo vanishing from his chair. Just when you're about to look around, he appears right next to you. Close, his smile is even more unnerving.
Nothing personnel, kiddo. Alright, moonlight's a-burnin', let's get crackin'. Alright. Holy... Doing this guy's voice, I don't know how Christian Bale and freaking the Nolan trilogy would keep it up. My throat's burning. Like, let me drink some water real quick.
Sure. Man. Oh, are you gonna be the narrator for this, or should I be the narrator for this?
I'll be the narrator for this. We can switch on and off.
Sounds
good. With a certain fascination, and also it'll help me, because if I constantly do his voice, let me talk some, read some normal lines, get my throat back in check. With a certain fascination, you watch D'Angelo stumble his way across West Brooklyn. Oddly animated, incessantly scratching his face and neck, stopping every once in a while for a bout of mumbling narration, he is most certainly a sight to behold. Still, he seems to be getting around okay, and you take particular note of the fact that he seems to be choosing the darker, less frequented streets. There is definitely a method to his madness. Eventually, your leprous guide takes a sudden turn off of Van Brunt Street and into a particularly dingy alleyway. The torn pieces of yellow police tape are a dead giveaway. This has to be the place. Well, here we are. Time for you to earn your stripes. This is where they found him. Drained dry, not a drop of blood in him. And before you ask, no. I didn't get to see the body. I didn't get to see the body, so I don't know if there were any bite marks. So, what can you tell me? You take a moment to examine the crime scene. Judging by the chalk outline on the pavement, the man was killed recently. Curiously, there doesn't appear to be a trace of blood or viscera, and you know the city's cleanup crew isn't that fast or that thorough. Looking up, you notice a spray-painted sign on the wall. It reads, "The Blood Speaks," in big, crooked letters. You look to D'Angelo. The Nosferatu gives you an expecting look. Deduction time.
How come there's no blood? Because it's weird that there's no blood. Did you say the victim was drained dry? Because I don't see a trace of blood anywhere.
Yes, Dango. Nosferatu. The Nosferatu guy, we're all vampires here. Nosferatu is one of the 13 vampire clans. So yeah, he is a vampire. An ugly, a clan with a lot of facial deformities.
Yeah.
Good eye, kid. It's the details that count. And given that the murder was committed right here, and the victim didn't make a sound, we can therefore conclude that...
The killer was... Wait, no. The murder was committed right here, and the victim didn't make a sound. So yeah, the killer was a kindred. Yep, because otherwise, if they weren't a kindred, that means... So the person drained all their blood, as in, like, sucked all their blood out, so there's no drops.
Yep.
If they were using a sedative and it was just a human, there would still be some blood spillage, because how they drain it, right?
Yep.
So yeah, the killer was kindred.
Bingo! Only a kindred could drain a human this quickly, this quietly. But not just any kindred. Take a look at that graffiti. What do you think it means?
The blood speaks, huh? I think it's meant to throw us off. Nothing. It's meant to throw us off.
Nah, I can see why you think that, but look at how crooked the letters are. Barely legible. You can't fake something like that. Someone was very nervous. Very scared. Definitely meant something to them. Tell me, if you were to guess, which clan would you say our killer belongs to?
Meant something to them. What is the Tremere again? The Tremere were...
Tremere are the blood sorcerers. Malkavians are the ones like Hope who have delusions and mental illnesses. Thin Bloods are a race of vampires who are like borderline human, borderline vampires, somewhere in the middle. They're like think of it as a vampire with vampiric deformities. They're not quite vampiric, but they're not quite human. They're like in a limbo.
Well, one of our stream chat people, Dango Bubbles, said Thin Blood. So I'm thinking let's go with that, just to see if maybe she's right.
Okay. Oh hey, Furiak. Thanks for joining the stream.
Are you?
I'm hoping that's how you pronounce the name.
I think it's Faria KH.
Faria KH. I just said the whole thing together. Furiak. Which sounds like Furiak.
Right,
that sounds Furiak. Yeah.
It sounds like you're throwing up a ball of hair. Like you're hacking up a hairball.
Like a cat who like licked itself too much and like coughs up a hairball. Oh boy.
This has Thin Bloods written all over it.
And Thin Bloods, yep. They're basically vampires with diluted blood. They retain too many human traits, hence Thin Bloods. D'Angelo smiles
Yay! You got it right, Dangle Bubbles. Thank you.
In bright neon letters, a fully fledged kindred would use his powers to lure the victim somewhere out of sight, and they certainly wouldn't stick around for the shitty art project. He pauses, spits out the mangled remains of a cigar. Shit, looks like we're gonna have to pay Larson a visit. You remember Larson?
No.
Okay, let me give you a refresher. Art gallery. Guy who looks very plain was looking at you nervously.
I do remember. Robert Larson, right?
Robert Larson. He's a primogen. He had the diverging opinion, and he said, "Don't talk to me. You're gonna embarrass yourself." We're gonna visit Larson.
Yes. He's a primogen. Yeah. Okay, that guy was really cool when I met him. The Thin Blood primogen. Yeah, the Thin Blood primogen. Larson, the Thin Blood primogen.
No, Larson, the bicycle repairman. Port's a Thin Blood fucking primogen.
I should have said the third option. Damn it.
Not sure if he knows who the killer is, but he could probably make an educated guess. In any case, we'd be doing him a favor. If it turns out one of his is violating the Masquerade, it will put him in a hell of an awkward position, and I mean shitting upside down awkward. It's the kind of weakness the other primogen would love to exploit. His position in the council is as bad as it is. He pauses for a moment and mumbles to himself, but it's too quiet for you to make out. Finally, he lights up a fresh cigar. He takes a puff and lets the smoke escape through his crooked smile. Alright, kid, let's get this over with. Alright, your turn.
Okay. Compared to the industrial ugliness of Red Hook, Sterling Place has quite a change of scenery. the heavily gentrified and pleasantly dull residential area emanates the sort of peaceful apathy that rich hipsters scoff at and the blue-collar workers can dream of.
Yep, that's gentrification.
All of a sudden, the Nosferatu stops. It's almost like he was taking a deep breath, steeling himself for things to come.
This is the place.
With that, he points to a surprisingly nice-looking two-story house. The place is almost completely dark. Almost. You notice a dim light shining through the curtains of an upper-story window. It's probably safe to assume that the head of the family is working late, especially if the head of the family happens to be a vampire.
Okay, kid, we gotta be gentle about this. I'm talking velvet gloves, soft cushions. You rang, my lord? Gentle. We need to get Larson out here without making a fuss or letting his family see us. If we blow this, he'll shut down like a speakeasy on raid night. Trust me, I know.
Sounds like you two have some history.
Sounds about right. Well, that's a story for another nut time. Right now, let's stick to why we're here. Tell you what, how about you take the lead on this one? I'm curious to see how you handle it.
Aye, aye, Captain. You take a step back and look around the area. The lit-up window seems like a safe bet. Now it's just a matter of time of getting Larson's attention. His and no one else's. As you're trying to come up with a viable strategy, you are suddenly startled by a loud noise. It takes you a second to identify the sound as a dog's barking. It doesn't take you long to figure out where it came from, as a bearded man leading a Rottweiler on a leash comes into view.
Doggy! Alright. You have a feeding opportunity here. You could feed on this man walking the dog if you want to.
But is the streets like, are they busy? Is it like completely empty?
I'm not gonna tell you that. You have to find out if you make this decision.
God, throw a small rock at the window sounds like a terrible idea. Ring the doorbell is going to alert literally everyone in the house. Mm-hmm. So the feeding opportunity sounds like the best bet.
So you want to feed on the guy?
Yes. I might be making a terrible mistake.
Time for a snack.
Oh no, I'm sorry. As you turn towards the man with the dog, D'Angelo gives you a worried look.
Kid?
Shushing him with a gesture, you plunge into the shadows and crouch behind a well-trimmed hedge. True to his word, D'Angelo follows your lead, though he doesn't seem too happy about it.
You best not be thinking what I think you're thinking.
Oh no, I probably made the wrong idea. Okay, you tense up, waiting for the man to get closer. When he does, you spring from the darkness, grabbing both of his arms and sinking your teeth into his neck. That sweet, sweet blood. His blood gushes into your mouth, thick with surprise and laced with just enough fear. It's all so quick, yet so sublime. The man goes limp. His best friend does not. The dog goes off on a barking spree that would make a dead man cover his ears. You tear away from your victim, ready to let the beast loose on the hapless canine. D'Angelo, however, is quick to curtail your murderous appetite. The detective approaches the animal, looking straight into its eyes. He mumbles something under his breath, an oddly melodic whisper.
So, Nosferatu, one of their disciplines is animalism. Animalism is the ability to talk to animals, communicate with them, control them, etc. So that's what he's doing. He is fixing your mistake, because you fucked up, and made the dog go off. And if he didn't stop you, as the dialogue indicated, you would have gone crazy and attacked that dog. And yes, vampires can feed off of animals. You probably would have attacked that dog and drank its blood.
Shit. Mesmerized by the chant, the dog grows quiet and lays on his back, allowing D'Angelo to pat its belly.
Good boy.
Suddenly, you notice the lights turning on in some of the houses. D'Angelo gives you an angry look and points to the unconscious man in your arms.
Get him out of sight! Now!
I screwed up, like, big time. I knew this was gonna happen, but I also didn't. I thought it was the best bet. an idiot. Heeding his advice, you hoist the man over your shoulder.
Not toss. You're not tossing him. You already messed up. You're not gonna toss him over your shoulder.
Into a car. and then sound the car alarm.
Oh god.
You hoist the man above your shoulder or over your shoulder and carry him to the nearest bush. Just as you're getting up, a very unamusing and slightly unshaven man in a turtleneck approaches D'Angelo. He doesn't seem happy to see him.
Okay, do you want to know what the correct choice here was?
What?
Throw the rock at the window, because that way only he's sitting at the window. The rock would have only gotten his attention. If you ring the doorbell, he would have still been pissed. He would have been like, "What the fuck?" Like my family. Now you got the attention of the whole neighborhood.
That's true. Very true.
Are you fucking insane? I mean, I know you are, but this is nuts even by your standards, D'Angelo.
I'm so sorry. You glance over to D'Angelo. He looks somewhat embarrassed, scratching the back of his neck, clearly trying to find the right angle to play this. You want nuts? I'll show you nuts. Oh my god. No. Sorry, we need to get your attention. Hey Larson, sorry about the fuss. We needed to get your attention.
By feeding right next to my house? What the hell is wrong with you? Get the hell out of here.
Not before you tell us about the murders. We will, once you tell us all you know about the Red Hook murders.
The what? What in the hell are you babbling about? D'Angelo, what's going on here? It's about the Red Hook murders. We think one of yours is responsible. Bullshit. A Duskaborn's got enough trouble just staying alive out here. What could possibly make them openly violate the Masquerade? Desperation. The killer's been leaving messages. Whoever they are, I think they know something. Something they can't share with just anyone. I know it seems far-fetched, but it's the only way this puzzle fits together. Nah, I don't buy it. You're reaching. Trying to find a scapegoat. Get in your boss's good graces. Word gets around, D'Angelo. You think I don't know who you're working for?
Then help us clear your name. Yeah, I think it's the best one. Then help us clear your name. What have you got to lose?
Your people's name. His clan.
Sorry.
The
Then help us clear your people's name. What have you got to lose? And also, I mean, it makes sense because, like, he'd want to clear his people's name because,
yeah,
you know, like, it's not
he's gonna
him
be
that we're
responsible.
accusing.
Like, yo, you're the thin blood primogen. What happened? You know.
Exactly.
Everything. I've been a thorn in the council's side for a while now. This is just the excuse they need to get rid of me. What if it turns out one of yours did it, and you sat on your hands to protect him? You think the council won't jump on that?
He looks off into the distance, pondering his options. He lets out a heavy sigh.
Look, I'll ask around. Consult my sources. If it turns out one of my own is responsible, they will face justice. In the meantime, keep your deductions to yourself. I have enough trouble as it is. Deal. Good. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to my family.
And with that, Larson retreats into the elusive safety of his home. You decide it's best to move along. You walk a couple of blocks in utter silence. Even D'Angelo's mumbling seems to have taken a back seat. Oddly enough, you find his newfound reticence somewhat unnerving. Finally, the Nosferatu stops and turns towards you.
Hell of a night. I don't know about you, kid, but I could sure use a drink. Something warm, in a tall, sweaty glass. But first, let me tally your score. Let's see now. You did make a good first impression. I like someone who can talk themselves out of a tight spot. Talking's cheap. Bullets? Not so much. You held your own at the crime scene, nothing I hadn't figured out on my own, but hey, we can't all be professionals. Finally, when the situation called for subtlety, you managed to avoid unwanted attention. Discretion's what separates a private dick from just any old dick. So, okay, I think this is a good, like, I think the developers had an oversight here, because no matter which thing you pick, he says this, when in reality, you messed
Okay.
up here. You were not
I
signed.
did.
So it seems like
You
this
know
is like
what?
a developer oversight. Like D'Angelo, as long as you talk to him and you get through this, he approves of you nonetheless, which is good for you.
Okay.
All in all,
I
you did fine. Not fine, but not bad for your first case. Don't let it get to your head. I'll be in touch.
was super subtle.
Let you know if I hear from Larson. Be ready to meet me at the office.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is I drained some guy and then the dog went quiet. It's fine. It's totally fine. I also fed. Like I'm not as hungry.
You drained a guy and you were about to attack his dog and eat his dog until D'Angelo
That is
stepped in
true.
and charmed the dog down.
But look on the screen. We have less blood marks. Therefore, we are more satisfied, I think. Kinda. And also, I didn't throw up this blood this time. So was this guy kind of the kind of people that I like to feed off of?
Yeah, kind of.
Awesome. All right, so not old people, but like posh people in like posh neighborhoods.
It doesn't say he's
gentrified
posh,
people.
but yeah.
All right, gentrified people. I think. Whatever. I drank. Let's go. Okay, this is me. He starts to walk away, but then suddenly stops and turns back towards you.
And bring a notepad. Every good assistant should have one. Okay.
Dangle Bubbles is like, oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah,
we have
Dangle Bubbles is
time.
like, oh my god, you would eat me.
We have time. You like to feed on dog owners? Yeah, I think she would feed on dog owners. We have time for one more event. So which one? Blood Sorcerer? Agathon? The Church? Hope Again? Or Tamika?
I'm going to go with, since we still have time, and we do have our gracious guest star here, I think Hope would be pretty good.
Okay. So this quest is called The Other Side of Hope. Hope is about to head out into the city, accompany her, and see her true face. So I'll do all the narration here, because otherwise, yeah, it's good. It's two girls talking to each other.
Sounds good.
When you get to the internet cafe, Hope is already waiting out front. The sight catches you off guard. A part of you suspect that she might be more of a shut-in, my haven is my castle type. Okay, Rubric, take it away. Now, since Hope has multiple personalities, each at username, I want you to read that at username and then read that line in what you would envision that at username would sound like.
Okay, so you do want me to say the at?
No.
In front of
You don't have to say that. Read the at username, just the line. But I want you to look at the username and think, okay, what would this person sound like in real life? And go with that.
Okay. Perfect timing. We need to go for a ride. Get in.
She doesn't wait for your response and jumps behind the wheel of a lavender vintage roadster instead. The engine starts roaring unexpectedly, causing everyone's heads to turn. Not wanting to attract needless attention, you quickly slip into the backseat of the car. The moment you shut the door behind you, the vehicle sets off, tires screeching. Oh my god, Hope's music. I just love this soundtrack.
Sorry for not bringing you up to speed first, but hey, this is NYC, everyone's always in a rush, and this is even more true when you're kindred. Now, allow me to take care of some business, and I'll be right with you.
Even as she's zooming through traffic, she's still on her phone, of course.
Let's see. No, not watch the road. Like, she can do multiple things. Nice car. What's your business? How do you make a living in this city? Besides your cam shows.
It wasn't actually, that whole thing was fake, by the way. She doesn't have any show.
I know! She funded herself.
Yep.
But it's still funny.
It's a long story. Do you really want to hear it?
Before you manage to answer, she starts talking.
So, another extremely online Malk based in New York goes by the name of Dev/Null told me to Google Ethereum a few years ago. That's how I got into Bitcoin.
Yo, recently, one of my friends, like, one of QuasarNova's friends, they named themselves Dev/Null, so it's just funny to me.
It's a common, programming. It's a very common.
It is.
Yeah.
It very much is, but it's hilarious.
And I found a new religion. 23-year-olds selling visions of governments replaced by benign code and decentralized consensus, masses ruled by algorithms as just as the laws of physics. Idiot man-child investors trying to shape their realities through sheer fanatical zeal, and dedicated collectors of things as abstract as rare SHA 256 decryptions. I don't know if that's how you call that.
That's
Oh, yeah.
That's how you call it.
It's the algorithm for Bitcoin. It's how it was derived, I think.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
The main algorithm.
Her driving style is far more aggressive and dangerous than you're comfortable with. Is it just you, or does she peek into the rear view mirror more often than she looks straight ahead?
A hyper-speculative environment where nothing has real value, only abstract beliefs matter, and your life savings can be ruined by a single bullshit tweet. How could I refuse the allure? I started buying low and selling high on a variety of shady 24/7 exchanges that allowed me with 100 times leverage, as in they'd lend me 100 times the capital I could bet with.
Oh, wow.
I got lucky at the beginning and kept the ball rolling, shorting and longing, impulsively, recklessly. I got to the point where I became too big to fail, and that's when I cashed out.
That is awesome. Yo, I wish I was her, man.
No,
She's probably like a millionaire.
this isn't in-game voices. This is one of our guest stars. She's voice acting Hope, but wow, she's doing a good job that you thought it was in-game voice acting. The car comes to an abrupt halt. You bump up against the seat in front of you.
Okay, this story will be continued later. We're here right at our first stop. I need you to do me a favor.
We're here. What favor? First stop. Okay, what favor? Favor? What favor?
Nothing too difficult. Literally a jump in, jump out kind of deal. See that weird guy in a Yankees cap standing around the corner? Approach him. Tell him you're at Young Hot Petite and Ingenue. I don't know how to say that either.
In June.
Take the time he gives you and bring it here. Get going, honey. It's illegal to park here.
You jump out of the car and approach the man Hope has pointed out. Not a lot you can tell about him based on his appearance, aside from the fact he seems pretty shady. The guy assumes a comically threatening pose as you approach him.
Why does he remind me of, like, what's it called? D'Angelo? A lot like D'Angelo.
Don't you dare insult, slander D'Angelo like that. It's offensive.
I'm not. It's just that this guy, like, he seems shady and he seems like he's cartoonic, just like D'Angelo.
The hell do you want?
I'm at Young Petite. Oh my god. That one.
The first one?
Yes. I'm at Young Hot Petite Ingenue.
Oh, gotta admit, I had no idea what ingenue meant, so I had to make sure. I was about to Google it, you know? Takes the phone out of his pocket and covertly passes it to you. Everything has been prepared and preloaded according to your instructions. Should take about 2 minutes to transfer the data. Now get out of here. The man walks away with an exaggerated hip-hop gait. You jump back into Hope's car. She immediately steps on the gas.
What is she trading?
You got the phone? You're the best. Pass it to me, please.
She connects the two smartphones using a cable and begins some sort of data transfer. Looks like it's an identical model. After a minute or so, the process is complete.
Alright. Goodbye, lovely. You've served me well.
Hope opens the car window, grabs her old phone. You're not expert enough to recognize the exact model, but it definitely looks like it had an $800 price slapped on it, and tosses it out the window.
Holy.
Surprised, you look behind you and see a car in the opposite lane run over the abandoned device. Hope notices your quizzical look.
I've been needing a lot of burner phones lately, and I'm not going to use some cheap piece of shit, so it's a pretty expensive necessity.
Intersection. Red light. She takes advantage of the moment to shoot a driving selfie that strategically excludes her face and upload it to Instagram. You notice her handle there is at Versace Beauty.
Now, I was telling you a story.
Bitcoin. Bitcoin.
Right. At some point toward the end of 2017, I became convinced I needed to cash out. There was no way the bubble was going to last forever. I always knew there would be no grapes of wrath for the cryptocurrency era. It would have to be a series of profoundly antisocial, disconnected events. The whole crypto culture was a decentralized church of lone millennials who rejected all established modern values and kept atoning for the original sin of not buying Bitcoin back in 2013.
Hauling people out, holy d-
Literally everyone still feels that way, including myself, who didn't get into Bitcoin when I should have. But hey, I was a teenager, so don't blame me.
Another abrupt last-second turn. You are pressed against the window. What the hell is it with her driving style?
Bet a life you never wanted to live anyway and get a chance to win a priceless pile of nothing, untether yourself from all worldly desires, find joy in suicidal ideation. To this day, money holds no real value for me. It's as abstract as a video game score, a bunch of numbers on the screen. This joyless world changed me forever. I knew I had to escape. So I took my piles of fictional dollars to a new arena, elite NYC social circles. Not because I wanted to scam them and make more, but because I wanted to finally have some goddamn fun. I mean, of course I had to scam them in the process, but it was only in service of becoming something more like a star, a constellation.
Another abrupt stop. This time, next to the entrance of a shifty-looking back alley.
All right, friend. This time, you're at Leaky Gut Syndrome, whistleblower extraordinaire. Whenever a press sneak fuck wants a leak, you've got it. Got it? Sorry for putting you out there in my place, but I only personally contact people as a last resort. Gets harder to protect my identity each time I show my face.
Fair.
And since I've got you, our man is waiting for you in this back alley. He's paying back a favor with a flash drive containing crucial information we need to stay safe in this city. Retrieve it. I will circle the area, make sure we aren't in any danger right now. When you're done, get back here and I'll pick you up. Everything clear? Good.
You exit the car and see it drive away in a hurry, then head into a narrow passageway. Sure enough, there's a man waiting for you at the end of the back street. Unshaven, wearing wrinkled clothes, with a nervous eye tick. He looks even dodgier than the last guy you met. When you approach, he gives you a mean look. You lost or something?
I'm at Leaky Gut Syndrome. I need help with my gut, oh my god. I'm Leaky Gut Syndrome. You said you've got a little something that might interest me?
Of course. Straight to the point, aren't you? Well, alright then. Clumsily, he produces a USB stick from his front shirt pocket and holds it before your face. When you reach out to take it, he pulls his hand back and gives you a sly grin. Getting all this data was risky, you know? Miss Montgomery's an unusually secretive person. Digging up dirt on her took more effort than I expected. Effort that should be rewarded, I think. The more you ask around about her, the more you expect a letter saying, "Give up your inquiries, which are completely useless," at your doorstep, perhaps attached to a severed cat head. You catch my drift? The secrecy surrounding her screams, "Friends in high places, brave new world order, Illuminati shit," you know? Makes me think I deserve some hazard pay.
Start walking away.
You try to imagine what Hope would do if she were in your place. Then you simply turn away and start walking back where you came from. Calmly, wordlessly, no negotiations. Just as you're about to walk out of his sight, you hear an annoyed grunt behind you. Alright. I shouldn't have put you on the spot like that. My bad, okay? Get back here. You turn around and look at the journalist expectantly. He sighs and extends the hand holding a flash drive towards you again. You take it. Oh yeah, one more thing. Not really sure what's about, but one of my informants claims you might be interested in this. He reaches into his inner jacket pocket and presents you with something wholly unexpected. It's a bag of blood, labeled simply as ABRH-. You take a closer look, but that doesn't answer any of the questions that just appeared in your mind.
Yeah. Wait a second.
You peek into the journalist's cold blue eyes and see them twitch uncontrollably. Don't ask me. They said you'll know what to do with it. Leaky gut, come on, take it.
Yeah, no. I think this is a trap. I'm gonna refuse the blood. This is a trap. This is such a trap. He's so shady.
Refuse the blood?
Refuse the blood. Yes, refuse that blood. Keep it. I have no idea who that informant is, but they've been feeding you bullshit, buddy.
Yeah, I don't think so. Another eye twitch and an awkward silence. You give the blood bag one last glance and leave the alley the way you came. Hope's car appears behind the corner just as you walk out onto the street. It doesn't even fully stop when you approach, but slows down just enough so that you can jump in. Even if that blood had HIV in it, it wouldn't affect a vampire. Because they're already dead creatures. Like, its blood is blood.
But if you want to do me a favor, you could drink a lot or smoke a lot or do some cocaine, and then I drink your blood, then I would get that hit.
No, you wouldn't get that. You would get that feeling, but not any of the
feeling.
The side.
Yeah, without the actual high, which would suck. But you get the high.
The moment you close the door, she leans into the gas pedal with her full strength, causing the engine to roar. Her driving style definitely doesn't reflect how laid back she seems as a person.
We've got it.
You throw the flash drive onto the seat next to her.
Perfect. Any problems? How did the meeting go?
He offered me some blood.
You relate the entire back alley encounter to her. Toward the end of the story, you notice she's not staring at the road or her phone, but directly at your face. The realization startles you.
You've got that black bag of blood with you.
Left it with him. Felt fishy somehow.
Huh. Anything particular about it?
Nothing. Just a label saying ABRH minus.
He steps on the brakes.
Fuck! 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 I'm okay.
He grabs the flash drive you obtained and throws it out the window. Looks like that's her favorite method of taking care of problems.
That bag was a message. AB negative used to be my blood type. It's the rarest one, found in less than 1% of the United States population. Glad you didn't drink it. Who knows what they've done to the bag? Some NYC vets can tell you wild stories about using irradiated blood to locate and kill other kindred.
See, I knew it was Shady. Oh, thank God. Okay. Seriously? Glad I didn't drink from him.
Better safe than sorry, yeah. Still, I wonder if they would have done anything to his blood. That would be some kind of 5-dimensional chess move. But yeah, this contact is compromised and needs to be cut off. Goodbye, my journalist frenemy, and goodbye, dear at Leaky Gut Syndrome. You've both outlived your usefulness.
After a brief period of hesitation, she deletes the whistleblower extraordinaire account and sighs.
Another one bites the dust. I've got another story to finish. I was talking about Bitcoin, and then... where did I stop?
Oh crap. Constellation. That was the last thing she said. Becoming a constellation?
Oh, right. You know who saw the real face of this city? Anna Delvey. Ever heard of her?
No.
A Russian working-class girl born as Anna Sorokin. She moved to New York in 2013 and convinced everyone that she was this insanely rich trust fund kid, a wealthy German heiress. I actually know this girl. I know about her. Manhattan elites totally fell for it, and they bought it for years while she swindled them. She only got arrested in 2017 after having stolen almost $300,000.
Okay, so, okay, you guys know the show Gossip Girl? Or if you don't know, it's fine. In that show, there's someone called Ivy, right? And spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Basically, Ivy is someone who has to pretend to be like Charlotte and like Charlotte is like, you know, the actual sister of Serena, who's the main character, and they're all like super rich, and Ivy is like this rando, right, complete rando who looks exactly like her apparently, which is completely false. If you look at the actual two actresses, they look nothing alike, and I have no idea how everyone bought it, but whatever. So she comes in, right, pretending to be Charlotte because of her mother's scheme, whatever, like, don't worry about that. Point being, she fools everyone into believing she's this rich girl, right? And she gets all this stuff, and then when she gets outed, she gets called out on it. And the thing is that there was another person in that like storyline who was this other girl who basically like scammed Serena, I think, or someone, and like stole all their money, and like ran off with her boyfriend, or ran off leaving her boyfriend take the fall for her. And this girl also pretended to be like this like elite, right, like the Manhattan elite. And I think it, like, if it's based on a real story of this person named Anna Delvey, that's so cool. Like, honestly, I actually, before, when I was watching the show, I was like, what would happen if I'm like, wait, rain check, I don't look like someone who would be a Harris, so I can't do that. But I think
like, you'd have to be super white, super rich, like,
or I could pretend to be some kind of like brown, like, you know, southeastern princess or something. I don't know. They could buy that.
Your parents own a gold mine or something in Abu Dhabi or something.
They own like a chain of like stores or something in this country, and then they like all like have a bunch of like sweatshops back home or something like that. Something like that would probably be believable. But like, that's also totally unethical, but you know, that's believable.
It's believable.
Complete sidetrack, sorry about that.
Sorokin created her Delvey persona out of thin air, convinced everyone that she was going to set up an art fund, and kept tasting all of life's finest pleasures while being basically broke. She even made up a fake family financial advisor, then killed him off when he became a liability, and apparently most of her rich victims never admitted to being scammed out of shame.
By now you're sure. The way she scrutinizes her surroundings, her reckless driving, she's trying to escape somebody.
Now Delvey's locked up with murderers in Rikers, writing her memoirs, apparently picking a lot of fights. Bless her heart, she'll forever be an inspiration. But I have more advantages than she ever did. I have my own considerable funds, and I can rely on many more made-up people than just some old-ass financial advisor. A whole bunch of fake content creators and influencers that every rich dumbass wants to get in touch with and collaborate. Makes it super easy to earn more money than I invest. You've seen it firsthand, both as a deceiver and the deceived. It's a city of illusions. Make non-existent money, come up with a fictional status, play nonsensical Camarilla games. And one day, you might just find yourself at the top. Alright. We're reaching our last stop.
You look around.
That's actually really ingenious. For someone who's like has multiple personalities, that's super ingenious. And I would probably do the same thing if I could. It's pretty ingenious.
The only cost is you kind of go insane slowly.
Well, yeah, but also you make so much money because people think you're multiple different people who are working together, and you make all this, like, what if, just saying, all right, this, I'm not trying to plant any kind of like lore for our channel here, but what if Revan and I were the same person, and we were actually someone like Hope who was, you know, using multiple different voices to become two different people to do a channel together. Just saying. Food for thought.
It's a pretty damn advanced voice modulator you got there. You look around, you're coming up on a parking garage.
You're gonna take an elevator to the 70th floor and give the masked man you meet in front of the door this memory card. It contains an art house movie I've made.
Wait, art house movie. Being a vampire movie?
Second option?
Yeah, second option. By art house, you mean vampire movie?
Yes, a movie you've seen me rehearse in my haven. You didn't think I was just doing that for show, did you? I found some filthy rich Manhattan pervs who'll pay a fortune for a convincing vampire cam show. I don't need money, but their IT industry connections gave me an idea. When we give them this memory card, we'll gain access to tech that should allow us to take on my biggest enemy in this city. So your nickname this time is going to be...
A crash.
Shit!
You are momentarily dazed and can't immediately understand what happened. The first thing you know for sure is, if you were still a normal human being, you would be dead.
Wait, did they crash?
Yep. You replay the last few seconds in your head. The other car appeared out of nowhere and crashed into Hope's vehicle at the maximum speed it was able to achieve in this closed-off space.
Oh my god.
The driver has already managed to kick open the mangled door next to him and stumble out of his seat. Now, he wordlessly approaches the trunk.
Shit, he's gonna shoot us with some
caliber silenced pistol out of it.
I called it. Oh no.
He starts approaching the lavender wreck of Hope's car, obviously ready to finish the job that he started. You have to be fast and violent. It's you or him now.
Oh my god, was that close enough? Okay. Is he already trying to attack? Like, he already pulled out the gun, right? Like,
he's pointing at, you already see the gun, he's pointing it at you, he's walking closer.
Okay, and attack the man would mean what? Like, I just rush forward? Like, rush him?
You don't know.
Okay, if I don't withstand the bullets, they might probably paralyze me, and I don't want to get staked, in a way. So, like, do bullets stake, or are bullets more like crossbows, where they don't really stake you?
Normal bullets will hurt a vampire, but they won't stake them. Staking is very, very difficult. It requires a considerable amount of strength and power.
So, what does withstand the bullets mean? Like, is that like making like a film?
Fortitude.
Like a bulletproof sheet.
Fortitude is an ability, a discipline, which gives you like, it turns your body like, kind of like gives it like armor, a little bit of armor. So you won't, when you take damage, it won't hurt as much, and like it won't hurt you as much.
Okay. Alright, I'm gonna do fortitude. Let's try and protect ourselves first.
Your instincts take over. You don't come up with a strategy or an optimal route. You simply start running towards the gunman, yelling. For a split second, he's completely dumbfounded. Then, he opens fire.
Makes
the bullets
sense.
hit you, but that doesn't stop you. You start
Hell
running.
Yeah.
The man pulls the trigger a few more times, to no avail. The expression on his face is priceless, until you ram your fist straight through it.
Yes!
He falls to the ground. You get down on your knees and keep pounding at him until he's been reduced to a bloody pulp. You
Drink
stand
all
above
that
the
blood.
gunman's body, trying to calm yourself and your killer instincts. That's when you hear her voice. Hope slithers out of her car and sees you standing over your assailant.
You did pretty good.
She approaches the body of the driver you killed and kicks it so she can take a better look at it. Upon seeing the front of the corpse, she lets out an annoyed grunt.
Ugh. Knew it would be this asshole. He's been following us all day, and I know just who he belongs to.
Even before she's done talking, she's already trying to reach someone through a video call. Eventually, she succeeds. You see a nonchalant woman in business casual on her smartphone screen. Okay, this is a new character. She's also like Hope, kind of punkish, but she is a CEO. She is a tech girl boss CEO. So, Quasar, you should voice this character. Think
Sure.
tech girl boss, CEO, executive.
Can I give her an accent? Is that okay?
She does not have
Because
an
she looks
accent.
English to me.
She's not
Damn
English.
it.
She's not English.
Okay.
These characters are all
Fine.
native. If
I'll
all these
stow
characters
away my fake British accent.
are native, these characters are all indigenous, like native to New York, unless the story says otherwise. They're from this country or something. They're all American.
All right. Cara Montgomery, how may I help you?
Cara.
Hope. Didn't expect you to ever reach me through this channel. Have you let this through? Wait, did something happen?
Did something happen? Your fucking ghoul just tried to kill me, you crazy bitch. That's what fucking happened.
Ghoul, as we've explained before, is a human who's been bound to a vampire. They're kind of like their servant. They do their bidding, they have powers, etc.
Calm yourself, for Christ's sake. This is a baseless accusation.
I know he's from Double Spiral. He's been working at your motherfucking company.
Come on. You know I can't be held responsible for the independent actions of my subordinates. Why don't we just meet up and talk it over?
Hope disconnects the call and instantly blocks Cara from contacting her.
You corporate shithead. You make me sick.
Tired, she turns her gaze to the dead Ghoul.
I'll dispose of him. Help me put him in my car.
30 seconds later, his body is laying on the backseat of the lavender-colored wreck.
Okay. Good.
You take a look at the scene of carnage in front of you.
Every second we're here gets us closer to a serious Masquerade violation. I'll have to exchange my Palme d'Or-worthy masterpiece for the goods some other time.
She gets behind the wheel and you follow her inside the car.
Meet me in my haven when I tell you it's safe. For now, I need to dump this asshole somewhere, get my car fixed, and plan our counterattack.
You guide Hope to your own haven, she drops you off, and before she leaves, she makes what's about to come perfectly clear. Now this is Hope talking in her actual voice.
Yeah.
So many voices. It's a little time.
I'm trying to remember like what it was for her actual voice. Okay. If we want to survive in this city, Cara Montgomery needs to die.
She disappears into
human?
traffic. What happened?
Is Cara human?
No, she's a vampire. Remember she said your ghoul? Your ghoul did this?
Yeah,
That means
true.
that
Okay.
implies she's a vampire. She disappears
Okay.
into traffic, and you disappear into your place. Okay. Now,
Damn.
we need to actually rest.
Yeah. Yeah, actually rest.
Alright, you can narrate it now.
Not long after you wake up, Gregory kicks on the sorry,
Not
doesn't
kicks.
kick.
He definitely doesn't kick.
It feels like he would. He's Gregory. Okay.
He's
Gregory
polite.
knocks
He's
on the door
polite.
of your
Though.
apartment. Yes, he is.
Hey, I came to pick you up. Miss Langely wants to see you.
What if I don't want to see her? No, don't pick that. I'm just
Alright,
reading
we're
them out
picking
loud.
that.
That's funny. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Well, my freedom, it was good while it lasted. No, do you know what she needs me for? Any idea what she needs me for?
I am not in the position to ask.
He smiles politely.
The car's waiting. Shall we?
You wrestle the same thoughts as a few nights ago. Maybe you should just leave, disappear, let Sophie find somebody else to employ. But then you remember the Anarch thug being cut down by Kadir and how close you were to the same fate. Not even a week ago. And that might still happen if you step out of line. You follow suit. As with your previous visit here... Wait, this is me, right?
Oh, I'll take it, because it's going to be two girls talking to each other.
Oh, true. You're right.
As with your previous visit here, Sophie seems not entirely present when you enter. Her eyes are locked onto one of the paintings in the room. You're pretty sure it was here earlier, but she's behaving as if she's seeing it for the first time in her life, entirely entranced. Gregory clears his throat. Sophie turns to the both of you, a bit of irritation in her countenance that soon gives way to a pleasant, warm smile. All right, Bumblebee.
You're here. You're here. Excellent. Thank you, Gregory.
Her driver
Cheering
leaves.
Bumblebee has the voice for this, just saying.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's like calm, soothing.
Yeah, it's so classy. It's so, like, inviting.
Her
Also
driver
dangerous,
leaves.
but inviting.
Her driver leaves, and she turns her attention to you.
I hope you had a good few nights and made some new acquaintances. But I have to say, I'm happy to see you, Leila. Thank you for coming.
The change in mood of the room is so sudden and startling, it makes you consider the true power of vampiric charisma. Rationally, you know you're being manipulated, but you don't even care. Her eyes, her motions, her entire body language all feel 100% genuine in expressing legitimate interest in you and your well-being.
For you this night, I need you to find somebody for me and make a delivery.
She points to the statue at the side of the room. You notice a plain-looking flash drive lying on the edge where the inanimate archer's bow touches the pedestal.
The man you'll be looking for calls himself Kaiser. He has eyes and ears all over New York, and it's rare for something to happen here without his knowledge. I'll need you to take this flash drive and bring it to him. In exchange, he will give you an address, which I need to know as soon as possible.
You're about to ask what's on the drive, but Sophie proves to be one step ahead of you.
Oh, don't worry about the contents. They are encrypted, a precaution for if the data falls in the wrong hands, but it won't, correct?
She gives you a smile that just a handful of nights ago would make you feel like melting.
Oh, and Leila? Kaiser is a Nosferatu, that twisted, deformed lineage of kindred. He is old, and his age has made him even more paranoid than the others of his clan tend to be. He holds many havens and changes them often. For what I've gathered, he or one of his servants should be found at the park on Coney Island tonight. You'll have to identify them, somehow. I'm told Kaiser has spent many of his nights these past few years being driven around the city in a black limo. Maybe keep an eye out for it?
That smile again, but much shorter.
Being straight with Kaiser, watch to look for Kaiser yourself. Anything more on Kaiser? That's the one I'm gonna go with. Anything more you can tell me about Kaiser?
Been here a long time, about as long as I have. He got into a lot of trouble for exchanging information with both the Anarchs and the Camarilla in the past, but ultimately he got off scot-free. Kaiser's web of information proved to be strong enough to shield him from the consequences of playing both sides. Some say that's the best proof of his abilities. In any case, be careful when talking to him. He's very particular about everyone's etiquette except his own. Good night, and good luck.
She flashes one last smile at you and turns back to the painting, clearly done with the conversation. You pocket the flash drive and head out toward Coney Island. Alright, you can take this part. Quasar.
Okay. It takes you the better part of an hour to reach the lights and the sounds of Coney Island amusement park from the city. The drive is almost pleasant this time of night. Thank God for Belt Parkway. There are plenty of people here tonight, but nobody who stands out as a traveling purveyor of secrets. Then again, if they did stand out, it'd be kind of pointless, right? Nothing to do but figure out the right approach.
Oh,
it's
for
CONY,
like Coney, yeah.
Coney Island. Yeah.
Coney, okay, that makes sense.
Okay, as you know, I am not a resident of NYC, therefore I do not know anything about this. Honestly, when we first... That's true, but when we first talked about like Coney Island to begin with, I was thinking it was just an island until like you mentioned the amusement park like here.
Yeah, it's a famous place in New York. Alright.
Search for signs of Kaiser. Why would I ask around? That's too, if this guy's trying to be in the dark, no one would know him. There are plenty of nooks and crannies to investigate around here, but if Kaiser frequents this area, there has to be some kind of clue to grab onto, right? You spend a good hour snooping around, eyes peeled for the black limo Sophie mentioned, or any sign of the Nosferatu, or any vampire. Has their haven around these parts? Zilch. Annoyed, you turn back toward the lights of the amusement park, only to find a man standing in your way, wearing an oversized jacket. He had an air of a junkie or dealer about him. Also, hi, Spectre Prime. Thank you for the hi, so I'm giving you a shout out.
Hey, Spectre.
Who knows what he's got in his pockets?
You lost?
Not lost, just sightseeing. Nah, not lost. Just taking the sights.
Sure you are.
He looks at you intently, like he's trying to guess your real purpose here.
Get out of here before I kick your ass.
I'm just looking for a guy. Let's go with that. Chill. I'm just looking for a guy. Drives around in a black limo, stops here sometimes. Ring any bells?
No idea what you're yapping about.
He's a terrible liar. Clearly full of shit. Dominate, we can give you his phone. Intimidate.
This last option is
what is
blocked
that?
off. It's blocked. You can't pick
Oh, yeah. Okay. But why is it blocked off? Because I don't have enough blood?
Choices you made in the past.
Okay, the other day I tell him about Kaiser. Okay. Dominate. Give me your phone and go for a swim in the bay. It's a hunch. You give the simple order. The man can do little assist. He produces his phone. It's a fancy model and doesn't look like anything readily available on the market. Hands it to you, turns away and starts walking. The phone's locked, but a recent smudge on the screen gives you a rough idea of what the combination might be. You get it right on the second try.
And this is why you don't use those things to unlock your phone screen, because it is so easy to tell, oh, the fingerprints go through here, and this is how you unlock the phone screen. Just a simple reminder.
There's just one number in the phone book, unlabeled. You dial it, hear someone pick up. The voice is like a rusty pitchfork scraping against gravel.
Jackie, you're messing up my snuff session here. Give me something big.
I have something for you from Sophie. Hi, I have something for you from Sophie Langley. Care to come pick it up? Silence. Not even a sound. The call ends. You try calling again, but give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second.
No worries. We'll just look at the wheel of fortune in the distance. The Ferris wheel. Did I say wheel of fortune? Blah. Ferris wheel.
I thought you were trying to be poetic.
I mean, you could say it's like a wheel of fortune. Have you guys ridden on one of those?
Ferris wheel?
Yeah.
But not on CONY Island.
I think I rode on one as a child, but it was like a long time ago. Kind of want to try it again.
Sorry about that. Just got a noise complaint from a neighbor. Well, actually, I made a complaint to a neighbor about noise. Silence. Not even a sound. The call ends. You try calling again, but the number is blocked. Nothing to do but wait and see if he shows up.
Rubric, in the background, that is not a sunrise. Those are the amusement park lights, which are lighting up like the spotlights,
the night
strobe
sky?
lights. Yeah, if that was even a hint of sunlight, Leila would be melting right now.
Oh yeah, she would be dying. But it's really nicely lit too.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nicely lit, like in the background.
Yeah.
It's really nice art. Yeah. Not 15 minutes pass before a black limo stops near where you're waiting. One door opens an invitation. The inside of the limo used to be a luxury lounge, the kind with a stripper pole and a bar full of alcohol, but it currently has none of that. Instead, there are monitors and consoles. Oh, this guy's a tinfoil hat! Yeah! There are dozens of displays, each one showing something different. A surveillance camera footage, stock market quotes, television news, emails, tweets, silent movies, lo-fi footage of a gory torture session. What? What the flip? Oh, he meant.
This
Oh
guy's
no,
not
he's
a
watching
tin-
snuff films.
This guy's not a tinfoil hat.
Oh no. You wonder if the limo's owner can focus on anything while surrounded by all these visual noise, then realize there's nobody there. Or is there? He seems like a Malkavian rather than a Nosferatu. Like the way that he has so many different things going on.
Actually,
at the same
no.
time.
Actually, no. This is textbook Nosferatu. Nosferatu, because of their bane, they are masters of secrets, investigation, keeping tabs on everything. It makes sense this guy's a Nosferatu. This is exactly what you would expect a Nosferatu to do. Because they can't show their faces due to facial deformities, they keep tabs.
Yeah.
They know how. They are the biggest information brokers. CIA agents, MI6, you name it.
Oh damn, that's freaking cool. I'd want to play as a Nosferatu at one point. A man blinks into existence on a leather-covered couch, attempting to maintain something that approximates a regal presence. You are 100% sure it's Kaiser. Surrounded by a dimly lit computer screens, his features are even more ghastly than you imagined. All sharp angles of twisted bone, mangled flesh, and crooked teeth. He bears them in an awful parody of a smile. Suddenly, somebody grabs you from behind, twists your arm, and pushes your head against the car's roof.
I got them, boss! I have them!
The Nosferatu chuckles.
Oh, congratulations, dickweed. Could have done that before. You gave away the fucking phone. Just let them go already. But... You going to make me repeat myself, you thick motherfucker?
He lets go. You take a look at him. The man is confused and soaking wet. He flashes you an angry stare, but obeys his boss's orders to the letter. What?
Are you waiting for a formal invitation? Get in the car. We have some talking to do.
Can I read this?
Yeah, you can go for it.
Since
Actually,
you're gonna have a lot to say.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. The door closes behind you.
So, Langely, huh? I'm guessing you got something for me, then?
You reluctantly pull out the flash drive from your pocket and slowly pass it to Kaiser.
Spectre, this guy is not a lawyer. He is not a lawyer. If he was a lawyer, this guy is worse. Like, think of somebody who has all the secrets of all powerful organizations and groups in the world. This guy's something like that. He's like a NSA, CIA, FBI put together mega level.
I'm gonna say something quick before we continue.
He likes to dress fancy dancy. That's just a personal thing.
Yeah, he does. I'm gonna say something quick before we continue. On our Discord for the PAX Den, which I will link, we are one of our mods. So I'm one of the mods, QuasarNova. The other mod is Kaiser, and this totally fits him except for the lawyer part. It's so funny. He should have voiced this.
He should have.
Yeah. He plugs it into a USB port on the arm of his chair and displays the data on one of the screens that happen to be turned away from you. It takes him about a minute to access the data.
Who do you people think I am? I saw this footage a week ago.
He removes the flash drive and throws it back to you in disgust.
Tell Sophie the deal's off. She wants her address, she can give me something else. Actually, I'm not...
Okay.
I think the red options might be blocked off. If you want to pick one of them, I could try to pick them and see what happens.
Ask him if you can make it up to him. Ask him to take the deal. Demand he ends. Ask him how you can make it up to him.
Oh, it is blocked off.
Yeah,
you can't pick it.
Yeah.
Gotta use your powers.
Okay.
Or demand.
I'm gonna say presence.
Okay. Those blood splats are getting kind of big, but alright, here we go.
I mean, yeah, but like, what can I do?
Also, since you already made the decision, I'm gonna tell you, that is the dumbest thing you have done, because you are a young, new vampire. This guy is a centuries-old vampire. You do not dare use your powers as a young, couple of nights-old vampire on a centuries-old vampire. That is one of the dumbest things you could have done, but...
You're right. You're right, but like, yeah, she doesn't know that, so she's gonna do it.
I mean,
You take on
Leila's
the most-
kind of smart, but it sounds like she's also kind of impulsive at times as well. But yeah, go ahead.
Sometimes, I mean, the whole drinking the blood thing. You take on the most persuasive voice and amicable stance you can, in what basically constitutes the lair of a oh my god, megalomaniacal monster. Oh
And
no,
that is
you're
not
in his
exaggerating.
lair.
That is not
Yeah,
exaggerating. People like Kaiser,
You're in
vampires
his
like
turf.
Kaiser, they are straight up monsters.
Yeah, oh no, I screwed up. Come on, man. Don't send me back empty-handed. Take the data and honor the deal. It meant a lot to me. It'd mean a lot to me. The sound of the Nosferatu produces is supposed to be laughter, you think. You're pretty sure he'll fall over and die at any second if it's anything other than that.
Ooh. Ah, look at me. I'm so pretty and well-spoken. I'm gonna feed you this bullshit and you're gonna cram it in and ask for seconds. Who the fuck do you think you are? You know what I should do to you for trying to pull that trick on me? I should mutilate your face and rub sulfur into the wounds, rip your tongue out, and use the stuff of fucking turkey.
Holy crap, this guy's crazy.
Only see, I'm in a gracious mood tonight. Plus, I hate turkeys. They disgust me. So, I'm gonna give you a chance to make this little transgression up to me. I'll contact you. Maybe I'll even throw in that stupid address so Langely can shove it up her cunt. But right now,
Holy.
unless you want me to get really pissed off, you'll show yourself out.
You're pretty sure you're done here. You get out, close the door behind you, and the car immediately starts backing up. The opaque windows slide past you, and soon the limo is on its way. Kaiser's lackey is nowhere to be seen, so you make your way to your car and drive back, wondering what tomorrow brings. That is insane!
The hunger calls to you. The city's skyscrapers, the seemingly never-ending sprawl of the boroughs. It's all a prison. You need to get out. You need to take back control over your life this instant. The memory of your sire's frosty blue eyes mocks you, tempts you to show your dominance, to prove you have the guts to take what you want. Feeding, that's just a thing. Coaxing, no. Ordering a mortal to bend to your will. Coaxing.
The word
no.
is coaxing.
Ordering a mortal to bend to your will, drinking deep from their lifeblood. Faces pass you by. While some look more ravishing than others, any would do right now. You compose yourself.
Shit.
Your rational mind fearing a blatant breach of the Masquerade's temporary hold over the beast and its compulsions. The reason this is happening is because you use your powers a lot, like a little too often.
A lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Calming yourself is a small victory in and of itself. This semblance of command will have to do for now, but it won't last. You need to quench this hunger before it overtakes you and makes you lose control. Alright, we have time for one more event. So, once again, you can talk to Agathon, the blood sorcerer, go to the church, talk to Hope again, talk to D'Angelo again, or talk to Tamika.
I want to see what's up in that mini quest. The one at the church. And perhaps, on the way, I could feed off a sinner or a pious one. I don't care. As long as it's not someone who's like, you know, the one that's actually going to kill me. Like, the radiantly pious one. Like, I can just pick a guy off the street.
You receive an invitation to meet a mysterious someone at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine. You haven't been to church since you became a vampire. Wait, did you want to read this one?
I was going to say, should I read it? Because you're going to be talking as the guy, and I'm assuming I'm meeting a guy.
Yeah, sure. You can go for it.
Sure. You haven't been to a church since you became a vampire, or kindred, as the euphemism goes. You've had to focus on concrete, practical things like surviving and feeding. And not getting killed by Kaiser. You've learned the essentials of the vampire experience, but you don't really have a clear idea of what it all means. The Cathedral of St. John the Divine is a New York landmark. You've been inside once before when you were much younger. You marveled at its Gothic facade. Looking at it now from across the street, it feels ominous. The prospect of anonymous invitation to a secret meeting is a worrying one, but the venue is well chosen. It's hard to imagine a violent attack in a place like this, with eyes everywhere. You enter the cathedral discreetly. You've quickly learned that this is an essential skill for a vampire, how to move without anyone noticing you. The full force of the cathedral's architecture hits you as you walk between the pews. If the architect meant to create the feeling of being small in the face of God's glory, mission accomplished. Based on the note, you're assuming that whoever you are meeting is somewhere in the front. As you step closer to the high altar, it feels as if something is dragging at your feet, as if the stone beneath you resisted your movement. Religion and superstition. Vampires are satanic creatures. Does God still listen to you? It's been a long time since you prayed. You wonder whether God listens to creatures like you. Fatalistically, you take another step, then another. You're not sure if your God is present in this cathedral, but perhaps it doesn't matter. What you feel is real enough. There's an old man sitting in the front. You see only the back of his head, bowed in silent prayer. Your footsteps echo on the floor, and he turns to look at you. You can't take your eyes off of him. He's tall, dignified, white hair, balding, a few strands escaping to the sides. He's wearing glasses and a simple clerical clothing. His eyes are warm and pale, too kind for someone like you. Something's wrong. You feel heavy, as if a giant hand was pressing down on you. The skin on your face is burning. Perhaps unconsciously, you expected something like this. As a vampire walking into a cathedral, only it's not the building nor God making you feel like you're burning alive. It's the man, the priest.
Welcome,
oh no, he's one of
my
true
child.
faith. He's one of true faith, isn't he?
Yep.
Shit. The priest's tone is kind, but the rising panic inside is telling you that the kindness is not for the likes of you. Shit.
You don't have enough energy to use your fortitude ability.
Confront the priest. The only way to understand these painful feelings is to push forward and confront the priest. As you step closer to the priest, panic rises inside you. The emotions are hard to control. Fear, anger, pain, all trying to wrestle you in different directions. Away.
Can I help you? Are you okay?
The priest talks to you like he would a lost vagrant who has chosen to enter the house of God. I'm sorry, Father. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry, Father. I'm so sorry.
It's alright. Do you wish to pray?
It's simply too much. You mutter something incoherent in reply. You don't sound like a vampire, an undead being made powerful by immoral blood. You're just another sad, confused, lost soul. You turn around and stagger away, only feeling like yourself once you're back onto the street outside. You stand on the sidewalk, confused and scared. No enemies seem to be attacking you. The priest didn't follow you. The night air is wet and the smells of the city the same as every night.
How did it feel?
You look at the man speaking to you. He's well dressed, if a little archaic. Dark-haired, handsome, like a character from an old movie. He smiles as if he knows something you don't. You glance around. There are people on the street. You don't appear to be in immediate danger. Why does it hurt so much? Why does it hurt so much?
That's the question I wanted to talk to you about. Let me introduce myself. My name is Benoit Segal. We share many things in common, even if you don't know me.
Benoit offers his hand to you. You shake hands. Benoit's handshake is firm and dry. He looks at you intently, as if trying to find something in your eyes.
Would you mind sitting with me for a moment?
Oh, Spectre Prime's pointing out it's Benoit, not Benoit, because it's like a French name.
Damn French people. Alright.
Benoit points to a park bench nearby. In darkness, because of a broken streetlight. Wary, you decide to follow him. Only an enemy totally unconcerned with the masquerade would attack you here. Benoit sits down and you follow suit. For a moment, you both contemplate the cathedral in silence.
I know how it feels. What you just felt. I have experienced it myself. Many times.
For a moment, you consider how to respond, but it's clear that Benoit sent an invitation to come here and orchestrate this little setup. Why did you invite me? I feel like punching you, Lamel. What's the point? Why did you go to the trouble of getting me here?
We share a connection. You and I. I'll explain it later. But right now, the important thing is that it's so much easier to show than to tell. I wanted you to meet Father Anthony, or see him, experience him. Did you wonder why it felt like that?
It was the priest. At first, I thought it was because I was in a church, but then I realized it came from him, the priest.
I think you're right. It does come from him. It's his faith that makes you feel like that. He's safe in his belief, while you are one of the damned. Do you ever wonder what's the role of a vampire in God's creation?
Stop to think. Of course you've wondered what this is all about. Whether it's about God or nature, you don't really know what being a vampire means. That's the trouble with the Masquerade. A human faced with a human problem can go online and find something that helps. You can't. Let's just go talk to Google. Professor Google will help us out. The Masquerade means that everything there is to know about your condition is secret.
I think you got a spammer in chat.
Oh yeah. That is funny. Do you want me to delete that?
You don't have to delete it right now. It can be later. It's fine.
I'll just delete it because I don't want to buy followers. I'd want people who actually want to watch us
But he also said flower. Did it say flowers or followers? I don't remember, but yeah.
Followers.
Oh, okay.
It said followers.
Damn,
yeah.
I wanted to buy some flowers.
Don't worry, maybe Sophie will buy you some.
Sure.
For no other reason than just to buy you flowers. It doesn't come with a cost or anything. The Masquerade means that and everything there is to know about your condition is secret, hidden away. You're left relying on the unreliable opinion of people like Benoit. And yes, it is Benoit. I'm sorry, as someone who, speaks partial French, I should have known. But, yeah, it's Benoit. Suddenly Benoit takes your hand and presses it against his chest. As he stares into your eyes, you feel his heart stop.
My heart no longer beats, yet I move. I talk. Is that how God intended us to be?
Okay, there's so many questions here. This guy is a kindred. It feels like he doesn't know he's a kindred. And also, how the fudge did he even know me? How does he know? What? What? It's so confusing.
I know the answers to all of these, but I can't tell you. I really can't.
Yeah. Okay. There's a natural explanation. Whoa. I don't believe in the supernatural. There's a natural explanation for all of this. We just don't know it yet.
Maybe there is. I don't know either. But I know that Father Anthony's faith is real. Sometimes I'm skeptical too. But in Father Anthony's presence, I know faith is real. I know it because it hurts so much. But perhaps you have questions about faith and our kind?
Wait, did this change color? Because it looks like it changed color. I didn't notice it until now.
Slightly.
It's like very amber, yeah. How do you know any of these stories are true? Perhaps which by not damned. No. How do you know any of these stories are true?
Okay, there's a bug here for some reason. Lila's portrait shows up, but the dialogue doesn't. But she basically says, how do you know any of these stories are true? So if you want to just read that.
Yeah. How do you know any of these stories are true?
I don't. How could I know? That is what faith is. You have to believe something. Good and evil. Right and wrong. Love and hate. I believe we are damned. I also believe that there is always hope. Grace. Father Anthony's faith shows me the way. It's so easy for us to lose ourselves in a morass of occult speculation. Some of our kind revere Cain, others Lilith. Cain is from the biblical story of Cain and Abel, where Cain and Abel are the son of Adam. Cain kills Abel, and it is said in lore that Cain was the first vampire, and all vampires are descended from Cain. So another word for kindred is Canaanites and such.
So, like, first murderer.
Yeah.
Weird.
Many in the Camarilla place their faith in the invisible guidance of the Methuselahs, who are supposed to watch over us. Methuselahs, that is another biblical term. It is supposed to refer to a man in the Bible who lived large centuries, like almost 800, 500. He's the oldest guy, exactly. So
sure, okay.
In a lot of fiction, like in Altered Carbon, it's a cyberpunk fiction series, they use the term Methuselahs or Meths to refer to people who have lived for so long, like several centuries long. So he's referring to the vampire elders who are like hundreds of years old and stuff.
Okay.
Yet, I wonder how much of that really matters when compared to the character of a good man.
Did I just come here to talk about religion, Lamau? It's a lot to take in. Yeah, did I just come here to talk about religion? Did you have anything else to say, or did I just come here to talk about religion?
I know it's overwhelming. It was for me, when I first met Father Anthony. I know there are others like him, whose faith shines like a beacon. Priests, old ladies, children. Anyone can have that conviction inside of them.
Whoa, I have to go. Cause like, what the fuck? This guy is... Yeah, I have to go. I can't concentrate when I know the priest is still inside. Benoit nods patiently.
Let's meet again in a few nights. Here at the cathedral. We can talk more after you've thought it through.
You leave Benoit sitting in the shadow of the cathedral, contemplating what lies within. It would be easier to ignore his words without the reality of what you experienced. Father Anthony was holy. You know it to be true. But what does it mean?
Resting
Dun,
time.
dun, dun. Wow, that was a lot. That was a whole lot. That's like a whole dump of like, you know,
Lore dump?
just
Yep.
yeah. Holy.
And that's only the tip of the iceberg. Oh yeah, it has been 2 hours.
Oh.
Do you want to continue?
And
Stop
we've
here?
done 2 nights. I think, would it be alright with our guest stars if we continue for half the night? Then that way we can continue the rest of the night, the next time we do it. If you guys have any objections, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Wow.
And they can't speak because they're muted! Okay, we continue.
Alright. You're walking down the street towards your haven. In some other town, the sidewalks would be deserted this time of night. In NYC, there are plenty of passerby going about their business. It's easy to be paranoid when you're a vampire surrounded by a crowd of humans. The Kindred have many enemies, and all those enemies have one trait in common. They're invisible, indistinguishable from normal humanity. Other vampires, hunters, all look like people. Is that old man just a tired restaurant worker, or a Kindred thrall tailing your movements? Are the officers idly waiting in a patrol car ordinary cops, or Second Inquisition specialists looking to end undead threats? This kind of thinking leads to madness, but you can't shake the feeling that someone is watching you. It is not the first time you felt like this. Whatever this is, it's probably something you have to take care of. Best case, someone is tailing you. Worst case, you'll be attacked and killed. Unfortunately, being undead has its limitations. The sun is coming up soon, and you'll burn to a crisp if you stay on the streets.
But I thought we just slept.
Not quite. You're about to.
Okay.
When you click rest, you don't immediately sleep. It just means like the character's about to, head to the haven, etc. You reach your haven and settle in for the day, disconcerted by the idea that someone might know where you sleep. The plan was to return to your haven for the day. The sun is coming up soon after all, but that's not what the beast has in store for you.
Damn it.
The feeling of emptiness, the overwhelming famishment that takes hold of you, cannot be denied or bargained with. This time, when you could reason with your thirst, is over. You don't remember how it happens exactly, but you find yourself in an alley, sucking the last drops of blood from the savage gash in a corpse's neck. You have killed somebody tonight, and did it very close to your haven.
That's a very bad idea.
Any attempts at covering up this poor soul's death becomes secondary when you realize that the dull glow over the city in the east is the sun coming up. So, this did not happen to me, because I was very careful. I only used my powers. I was very paranoid the first time. I was like, I gotta manage my hunger.
Yeah.
You use your powers a lot, so the game forces
you were gonna help me with that.
I gave you I told
help.
you early on, and then I said the decision is up to you. Keep track of the blood meter on the right. And there were several instances where you could have talked to the person. Like, when talking to Kaiser, you should not have used your powers. You should have said, hey,
For
man,
sure.
you gotta, like, blah, blah, blah. But, and you shouldn't have used dominate on that guy. Like, you could have easily talked to him and intimidated him by just verbally talking. But yeah,
True.
You learned a lesson now, so let's see how you carry it on going forward. You barely make it back to your haven in time. You realize your clothes are a mess, torn in places, covered in blood. Your victim's blood. How many people saw you get into the building? You don't know. It was a panic sprint to escape the light. Instinct, saving your skin. The same instinct that decided it was time to feed. The beast. You cannot let this happen again. You cannot ignore the hunger for as long as you did before tonight. Your humanity depends on it. Oh yeah, so the longer a vampire lets the beast take over, they have a score in VTM, the tabletop game. There's 3 kind of health bars to keep track of. Your actual health bar, your willpower, and your humanity. As the humanity gets lower and lower and lower, you run into the chance of permanently going into a frenzy. You're permanently a wild animal, and then either vampire hunters or other Camarilla agents have to come and literally put you down like an animal.
That is horrifying, and let's not go there. So let's be more careful the next time we play this then.
Alright, now we're actually resting, yada yada. Alright, you should read this part.
Sounds good. And as I said, we're going to play only half the night before we call it for the day. As you wake from your slumber and emerge from your haven for the night, you notice a familiar face on the other side of the street, standing on the corner and looking straight at you. It's Kaiser's lackey, whom you've met recently, Jackie. He nods to you, encouraging you to approach. You can tell he's guarded and suspicious after what you've made him do the last time you met. His hands are outside of his pockets, though. A sign of goodwill?
Yep, Jackie the lackey.
That's funny, DreamyBumblebee.
That's close enough.
What the hell do you want? Who says? Let me guess, Kaiser sent you?
Third one?
Yep. Let me guess. This is not a social visit. Kaiser sent you?
Don't say his name out loud, idiot. He takes a look around just to make sure nobody's listening in on your conversation. Oh,
Wait,
I'm guessing that was supposed to.
Did he do that?
I'm guessing that was supposed to. This is a developer oversight. That was supposed to be a narrator dialogue, but yeah.
You know what? Let's take it as fact, and that this guy is actually narrating.
No. That's kind of immersion breaking. Read the second sentence.
Sure. He takes a look around just to make sure nobody's listening in on your conversation.
Yeah, he sent me. I'm supposed to give you this.
He produces a crumpled piece of paper from his jacket pocket and hands it to you.
Read it, memorize it, then give it back here.
It's a letter. The paper might be just a page ripped out of a spiral notebook, but the writing on it is exquisitively detailed and deliberate. It reads, "Time." You want to do this? Because this is his voice, technically.
Time to square your debt with me. Go to the wine shop at 232 Mulberry Street and ask for the 1821 Special Reserve Donatello Negro Amaro. It's Italian. Negro Amaro. It's Italian.
Like
Donatello Negro
Amaro. I don't know.
Negro Amaro. Yeah. When they tell you they don't have it, say you are a fedele. This is all. Oh my god, more Italian. Fedele servitore della famiglia G. Those
No, wait. Let me do it. I can do this. Fedele servitore della famiglia G.
Those exact fucking words, and make sure you get the G right. You'll get a bottle. Just take it and leave by saying grazie. Don't. I can say that one because Assassin's Creed 2. Yeah, I thought it's
grazie.
I thought it's okay. Ezio says it like grazie at times, but whatever.
It's grazie.
All right, you can be the Italian. Don't ask how much it is or anything else. Just walk out. When you have it, come back to Jackie Boy here and let him know. You done? Memorize that shit and hand it over.
Crap! I don't memorize anything.
Well, here you can.
Oh, thank God.
The log.
Okay, good, because I did not remember any of that.
And in the true spirit of role playing, I'm not going to help you with this. You better remember.
232 Mulberry Street. Ask for 1821. So that's like I think that's like a wine. Special Reserve Donatello Negro Mario. Okay. And then when they tell you they don't have it, you are to say Fedele Servitore della Famiglia G. Okay.
You got it?
Yeah. Got it.
All right.
232 and 1821. All right. You done? Yeah, you did it. Okay. So what's the rush, buddy? What's with the cloak and dagger nonsense? Didn't think your boss the letter guy. Let's go with that. Didn't peg your boss for a letter kind of guy. Isn't electronic communication his whole shtick?
Yeah, well, some things are better done the old-fashioned way. You about done with the letter?
You note the phrases and address mentioned in the letter. You hand them back to Jackie. He immediately reaches for a lighter and burns the letter, putting out the ashes with his boot.
So yeah, when you do what the boss asks, come back here so I can tell you where to go next. I'll be in that alley over there.
Continue. I'll say after this.
I'll be in that alley over there, so find me when you have the item, whatever it is. I don't know, and the boss made it extra clear that I shouldn't care. So I don't. See ya.
So it's like a multi-pronged thing.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. He shuffles away and leaves you to pursue the lead from the letter. Time to pay a visit to Nolita.
Alright.
You arrive at the... Oh, is this you?
I'll read it here, yeah.
Sure.
You arrive at their address mentioned in the note. Not counting local restaurant patrons, the street is mostly empty at this time of night. But curiously, the wine shop is still open. Inside, a small middle-aged woman with curly hair stands behind the counter in front of a wall filled with wine bottles. There is a door at the back of the room with a small table and chair, occupied by a man in a black faux leather jacket with slick combed-back hair. He's reading a newspaper, but pauses as a little bell rings when you open the door. He takes a sip from a small, steaming cup, then gets back to his broadsheet. Rubric, you can be the proprietor.
Okay. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Good evening. How can I help you?
Be direct. I would like a bottle of the 1821 Special Reserve Donatello Negro Mario, please.
Let me check our stock.
She seems to be looking through a database on the laptop sitting on the counter. She puts on a polite smile.
I'm afraid we don't have that one at the moment. Sorry.
Was it the phrase? No, wait. Was it the phrase and reassure her? No. Was it the phrase straight and simple? Yeah. I think that's what Kaiser would do as well. The straight and simple one.
First one?
The first one. Yeah. I'm a fedele servitore della famiglia G.
Ah, in that case, let me see if we have any in the back. Wait here, please.
The woman leaves the counter and goes through the doors in the back. The man by the table puts down his newspaper and takes another sip from the cup, washing it down with a gulp of water from the nearby glass. He tries to hide it, but there's no doubt he's watching you. About a minute passes.
Chat the guy up. So, how's your evening so far?
The man looks at you with a smirk, but doesn't answer. The doors to the back of the store open, and the proprietor emerges with a small, unlabeled, squat bottle of crimson liquid. She gives you an apologetic smile.
Scusi, sorry for taking so long. Turns out we did have it.
She offers you the bottle and you reach out to grab it, but she retracts it.
You do know what this is, don't you?
It's wine, of course.
Which one?
Why, it's wine, of course. The first one? Yep. Well, this is a wine shop, so it's wine, surely.
Well, of course. The best kind of wine. Enjoy.
She winks at you. Deciding you've pushed your luck far enough, you nod and exit the store, then take a brisk walk to your car. Nobody follows you as you leave Nolita and drive back to your apartment. It takes you some time to find a parking spot, but you finally get out of the car and start looking for Jackie. He's not far from where you parted ways just under 2 hours ago. Got the goods?
I do, but it was a hassle. Got it, but it was a hassle.
Oh, boo-hoo. Stick around. Gotta make a call. He takes a few more... you can read this part, actually.
Sure. He takes a few more steps into a narrow space between two buildings and takes out the same high-tech phone you saw him carrying last time.
Hey, boss. Yeah, they have it. Where do I point them to? Okay. Yeah, I'll tell them to go there right away.
He puts the phone back in his pocket and turns back to you.
Willets Point, half an hour, so you better step on it. See you around.
With only a flippant salute, Jackie starts walking down the street. You make your way back to the car and drive. You had to push the speed limit to make it on time, but you're here, Willets Point. Quite a change of scenery. The place is a post-industrial dump, nearby the stadium notwithstanding. You stop your car once you realize that if you go any further down, the potholes will kill your chassis. You step out onto one of those gashes in the asphalt, splashing in the ankle-deep water. Damn it, that's disgusting. Kaiser's limo is nowhere to be seen. In fact, the whole place is pretty much deserted, other than the apparent proprietor of a lonely bar, a middle-aged woman who's locking up the place. Who's just locking up the place. Yeah, no, that's not happening, and Kaiser's not gonna show his face if I take a sip. Wait for Kaiser. Just wait. Because, impatience. You stay near your car and decide to wait. Kaiser might be on his way. Or if he's not, and instead playing one of his games, then you're not participating. You've got what he wants. Let him come to you. The bright lights of a car pulling over down the road some 10 minutes later catch your attention. It's a black limo. Kaiser is finally here, it would seem. Same as last time, the car doors open but nobody comes out. You know the drill. This time, Kaiser is visible when you look inside. You sit down and close the door behind you.
So, you pulled it off without a hitch then. Give it here.
You hand the bottle over to the Nosferatu. He uncorks it and gently takes a whiff, and puts the cork back in.
Yeah, that's the stuff. I can see you're useful behind your charm, beyond your charm with the subtlety of a battering ram. Good to know. Here's Langley's precious address.
Yes. He passes you an envelope with what feels like a thick card inside. Thank you, Mr. Kaiser. Thank you, Mr. Kaiser.
Yeah. I'll send Jackie over if I need anything. I'll send Jackie over if I ever need anything else from you. How about that? Time for you to get out. Now.
He waves you out of the car. With the envelope in hand, you get out, back onto the torn asphalt in decrepit surroundings. The limo slowly drives away. Finally, you can return to Sophie and bring her what she wanted. Gregory...
I'll read this part.
Yeah.
Gregory lets you in. You hear a shrill, unpleasant laugh, and you realize Sophie's having a guest over. He's the man from Elysium, the one with the glasses and good taste in suits. You didn't have the chance to talk to him last time you saw him. Bumblebee?
Oh, Leila. So glad to see you. Tell me, did the two of you previously meet?
The man doesn't wait for an answer. He approaches you with an energetic, almost dance-like step and puts out his hand. Thomas Arturo, I've heard about you. Pleasure.
Thomas is a great source of gossip and an excellent conversationalist.
I also have the prince's ear, which is the primary reason dear Miss Langely wished to speak to me tonight. Good gossip, even coming from me, isn't nearly as valued. Sad. Sophie is taken aback by the man's direct comment, but smiles politely. The awkward atmosphere is broken again by the guest's grating laugh. I kid, of course. I kid. Well, I was about to leave anyway, so I'll leave you two to it. Good night, Sophie, Leila, Greggy boy.
He said my name wrong! How dare he!
Sophie's driver opens a door for Arturo, and the guest steps out with a single wave of the hand towards his host, and you. The doors close.
He's quite the character, isn't he? He's quite the character, isn't he?
Yes, quite. But he has his uses. Thomas has clout in court and access to many juicy details on everyone from the prince to the lowliest primogen. It's useful to have him on your side, even if his eccentricity requires some patience. Speaking of patience, you have been putting mine to the test lately. Did you manage to contact Kaiser and acquire what I asked for?
Yes, but I had to do another job for him first. Yes, I have it. But the data you offered was old news to him. I had to do another job for him before he would give me this card.
He retrieves the envelope from you.
I'm sure he did. I do hope it wasn't too much of an inconvenience. I
had to retrieve a bottle for him. He made me go to an entirely separate escapade to retrieve a bottle of wine from a store in Nolita. I had to use code phrases and whatnot.
Wine shop? Code phrases? That degenerate pest.
She's visibly agitated, but calms down and smiles at you.
Don't worry about it. I'll make sure that whatever Kaiser had you do, it'll blow over.
She opens the envelope and looks at the card. You notice the same lettering you saw on Kaiser's note from before, but can't see the details. Her eyes widen.
Yes, excellent. I need to call in some favors. I will likely be busy for the next few nights. You have my permission to show some initiative, my dear charge. I will contact you soon.
With that, Sophie ushers you outside, and you are left to do with the rest of this night's hours as you like.
That was definitely like a very interesting part of the night, and I think it's a good note to end the day off as well because of how freaking like wild and crazy Kaiser is. It's definitely really fun. I think
you have a
for
new
the
quest right here. Somebody watching me part 1. So
yeah,
just so you know.
I think that's a good thing to start off with the next time we play because I do want to know what's going on there, and I have already made my I've already met the people that I needed to. I mean, I still need their help, so I'm still going to want to continue my adventures with Hope and with D'Angelo maybe the next night. But as soon as we come back, I think I'm going to be starting off with finding out who's following me and or why. Because it's freaking shady, and I don't want to be stalked. So, how did you guys like it, DreamyBumblebee and Rubric? What do you guys think of the game today?
It was really interesting, and you have some guts. Like, you're so risky.
The irony is that when I played this game, I picked the Bruja clan. Brujas, they are known to be hot-headed rabble-rousers. Now I was like, I took some risky dialogue options, but I was like, I gotta play it safe. These people terrify me. She's a Ventru. Ventru are supposed to be the calm, collected, cold leaders, and she goes around biting a guy, about to eat his dog, like, yeah.
And commanding another guy to jump into a lake. Yo, that was fun.
Using your powers randomly and, like, recklessly. Very un-Ventru-like.
Very unventure-like, but that's what makes it even more fun to play, because no one's gonna know I'm a Ventru. They might think I'm a Bruja for all I know. Bruja with specific tastes.
It's possible.
But yeah, that was really fun, and I can't wait to do it again. Thank you guys again for participating, and thank you to our guest stars for being here and for helping us do it so nicely. Like, as you saw the comments, one person legitimately thought it was in-game voiceovers, so you guys did extremely well. Thank you so much for both of you. And I hope that for a future sessions you guys also join us. Both Revan and I still haven't kind of figured out our schedule yet. We are doing it every Wednesday, but right now about the Monday, it's kind of a, if we feel like it kind of thing. But hopefully once we... Yeah, it's in the air right now. Once we kind of get in the pace of this, we'll be able to do it on Mondays as well, maybe, and then do it on more days, possibly. But as I mentioned before, we do have a YouTube channel if you want to watch our VODs without, without any interruptions and the risk of it fading away from Twitch, because Twitch has a 14-day limit or something. Yep. We have it there, and we'll hopefully be starting other outlets that we can outreach to you. And if you can give us a follow and share it with close friends, that'd be the best way to help us build this community. And as always, thank you very much for being a part of the Hollow Tesseract.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. And we'll see you tentatively next time on Wednesday for sure, and maybe this Monday. We'll see. We'll figure it out. Good night, and good luck.